Hello everyone, welcome to Vlogstice. I'm so sorry, I will be just 1 second. I'm off camera for the moment, but I'm here. I'm just getting things together. In the meantime, get comfortable, get settled. Hey everyone, I don't know what that was. I started to get ready to do this video and I just had this urge to pretend that we were in a Zoom call, so sorry if that was not the headspace you wanted to be in. That is where my silly mind was going. But don't worry, this is YouTube. We are here. This is a pre-recorded video. We are not live. I cannot see you. Thank the gods. But happy Vlogstice! It's Vlogstice 2025. I cannot believe it is already December. I have a few fun things planned for us in this episode, this video. I don't know, I've been calling things episodes lately because when it's in a series, I think of them as episodes. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what the plan is for this year's Vlogstice. Then I'm going to give you a little bit of an update, the vlog portion. And if all goes well and the cats will be quiet enough to let me, I wrote another song for you. And we'll use that to close out the video. Are we okay? Are we all calm now? We got all our noises out? Of course, they've been quiet for hours. And as soon as I start recording, the cats start making every noise they can possibly think of to make. And it drives me up a wall. So, this year on Vlogstice, we first recount 2024. In 2024, I hadn't decided that I was going to revive Vlogstice until partway through the month. So, I didn't start at the beginning of December. Whenever I started, I wanted to get a decent amount of videos out of it, so I did a video every day for 9 days leading up to the solstice, because I figured 9 is a nice number. But I did it every day, and that was a lot. This is a difficult time of year for me to begin with. That was too much for me to be doing every single day. In the past, I have done it every other day, and that is what we have gone back to this year. And of course, we are starting at the beginning of the calendar month. So you should be seeing this on December 1st in most time zones around the planet. If you're further west of me, it might still be November. But more or less, we're starting on December 1st, and I'm uploading every other day, except it's every other business day. I'm going to be uploading Monday, Wednesday, Friday until the solstice, and then a final video on the solstice day, which is a Sunday in my time zone. According to the almanacs that we can source via the internet, the winter solstice is at 10:03 a.m. in my time zone, which is Eastern time, on Sunday, December 21st. But because last year it was a lot, and this year has been a lot, and I'll talk to you a little bit about how recent months and right now have been, and always are this time of year, a lot, I'm giving myself weekends off because I have multiple other projects going on at the same time right now, as I'll mention in the vlog portion, that I'm just gonna need that extra space, and I'm gonna need the extra time to try to sleep. So I will be uploading Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 3 weeks. I'll put up a little calendar view on the screen, and I'll share it probably on the posts of my channel as well so people can follow along, and then a final 10th video on the solstice day. I forgot to mention that last year, every vlog also was themed to start with each letter in the word Vlogstice. I'm not going to be doing themes this year, just vlogs about whatever. So that's the plan. Now for the vlog. Let's start with the all the time. Okay, so this time of year is always difficult for me. It has been difficult for me for the last 7 years or so since Grams passed. My grandmother passed away. Some of you remember her from videos. You may have seen the memorial video or any of the vlogs that I did with her while she was still alive. One of my favorite people. She passed away in 2018, right around the winter solstice, and I accidentally observed the solstice vigil, staying up all that night and seeing the sunrise because I was at the hospital with her. And I have had insomnia my whole life. I mentioned in the previous video on this channel, which was just a day ago, I meant for it to be done earlier so there would be more time between it and this video, but life. But the video I posted on this channel yesterday was doing a director's commentary of one of my oldest videos, my Finding Wicca vlog. And in that, I mentioned that I used to, in high school, stay up all night and go for walks in the morning and then sleep after that. So I have indeed had insomnia since then. I've had insomnia since before then. I've been a chronic insomniac my entire life. There are strategies that usually help me make it manageable, but there are just times of year and times of stress that exacerbate it, and there's not a whole lot that I can do. Then just plan for it and know that it's going to happen and make the best of it and ride it out. So this time of year, ever since my grams passed, I have noticed an uptick in my insomnia difficulty in December. And there's some other stuff that now has kind of stretched that so that this difficult time period of sleep actually starts in November. And I'm sure somebody pointed out to me recently that the daylight savings time change and things getting darker sooner probably doesn't help. I had never actually thought of that before because there were these other significant milestone moments in my life that explained why I had the increased anxiety, increased stress, increased insomnia. But it might also be the time change and the light change. I mean, that could be building on it, sure. I don't know. So those are the things that are kind of all the time things for my whole life and for the past 7 years. This year in particular, you may have noticed I haven't posted videos very recently on the channel. You may have noticed I haven't posted that many videos on this channel at all this year. I've missed more months than usual. There's a lot going on. I do what I can when I can, but particularly in these last couple of months, I had a planned break. I posted on Instagram. I can't honestly remember whether I remembered to post it on the YouTube posts page. I'm still getting used to the fact that those are there now, that is an option, like a social media feed. So I'm starting to get better at posting things there to let you know things, but I put things on my Instagram, I put things on Patreon and Ko-fi, I put things in my Discord for the Patreon and Ko-fi supporters. So some of y'all knew. But before I went out of town, I posted that my readings, my Ko-fi shop, was going to be closed for a while, at least until after Samhain, because I was going to be doing some traveling. That break got extended a little bit just because of the recovery time that is needed after some of what I was doing. So part of it was physical in-person travel to events, and then coming back and then driving to another event and coming back and going to another event, and then I had a big online event that I had a paid shift to cover, and it was a 3-day intensive. And so when I was traveling, I was waking up early because my schedule at that event required me to get up really early, which is difficult for me. So I didn't have very much sleep on those nights, but I just kind of made it through because when I have people to see and things to do and a schedule to stick to that gets me out of bed, I make it work, but I still can't really get to sleep before a certain point, so I'm always running on a bit of a deficit. But the sort of adrenaline and excitement of doing things and seeing people just helps me push through. And then there was a little bit more travel, and then there was driving back and forth, like I said. And I had about a week to transition from having stretched my schedule to get up early to switching it back to my usual night owl schedule, because the event that I had a shift for, a shift that I worked for this event, was an overnight shift. For my time zone, it was overnight. For other people, it would have been during the afternoon, but nobody in those other time zones was available to do it, so I agreed to take essentially a graveyard shift because I'm always up late. But I didn't know at the time that I would also be doing this in-person travel at the same time, and had I thought about it, I might have realized, oh, that's really close to this other event that's going to force me to change my sleep schedule to be up early, and then I'm going to have to change it back to stay up late again really quickly. I don't know, I didn't think about it. I thought it would be fine for 3 days, and it mostly was. Like I said, I pushed through. And staying up late is more my natural sleep schedule, so it's easier to do that, but it was still a very quick turnaround. And I was already coming off of travel with a sleep deficit. And then over the course of that weekend, I also didn't get a lot of sleep, 2 hours a couple of nights. 4 hours if I was lucky. So after all that, and because those things, travel, multiple events, and then the online thing, because that was all so close together, I think the sort of crash that normally would happen after one thing built up because it was multiple things. And so it took me like a good 2 weeks to just try to sleep, just try to get any rest before I could start taking meetings again and like trying to sit at the desk and do any work. Cause like, sure, insomnia, I'm awake, but at that much of loss of sleep, I'm not like doing well. So I couldn't exactly like get work done in any kind of productive way. Couldn't really focus, so not very helpful. And now is the point in the video where I feel the need to repeat that this is a vlog. I am just sharing with you what's going on in my life. I am not asking for medical advice. This is something I have been dealing with my entire life. I know a lot of the strategies that exist. I do what I can. Things may or may not work for me. I am not here to discuss that or take unsolicited advice, and I am not soliciting it. Thank you very much. So disclaimer out of the way. That is just what's been going on. I sit here before you with a lack of sleep. I am doing this after midnight because this is a normal time for me to be up and working. I have been able to try to fit some naps in during the day, which has been helping. Right now, I am quite tired, and I am looking forward to getting this done so that I can go to sleep and try to sleep. But that is why I'm trying to do these the night before, so they will be posted on the day that I intend for them to be posted. So when I say I'm taking the weekends off, really I'm going to be doing the videos for Mondays on Sunday, so it's more like Friday and Saturday are my days off for this. But you know what I mean. I'm taking the weekend days off of uploading. Most of you will probably wait until the weekend to watch things anyway. But maybe not. We'll see. The video that I posted yesterday has over 100 views already, and that might be, and that was hours ago. I haven't checked it again now. But that might be the most videos that I've gotten in less than 24 hours in a long time. So I'm really glad you all liked that, and if you haven't seen it yet, go back and watch that. I'm sure I'll link it in the end screen. It's also now the featured video on the homepage of my website, which is caramiawitch.com. So now that I've done the vague part of the update and the focused on sleep schedule and scheduling difficulties portion of the update, I'm gonna give you a little more detail, but still not everything because, you know, personal stuff stays personal. But many of you may recall that 10 years ago, I went to my very first Reclaiming Witch camp, and I did readings and other things to raise money for that trip. That was 10 years ago. I've been involved in the Reclaiming tradition for a decade, which is pretty freaking awesome. That's almost half the time that I've been a practicing witch at all. It's not quite, but it's a long time. In a way, that time has flown. But, you know, this year was the 10th anniversary of my very first witch camp, so I decided to go back to that camp for the first time. Since the first time. Hadn't been there in 10 years, felt like it was really important for me to go and honor that milestone. But travel and these events cost money, and my financial situation is really not great. Never really has been. It's been better than this. It's never really been good, but it's been better than this. So I didn't know how I was going to make it work, but I felt really called to it. So I asked around, I let some people in the community know that I really wanted to go. And let's just say between the camp organizers and other community members who are friends of mine, they worked it out for me. And all I had to do was cover my plane ticket. And the rest was covered. Now, I wanted to get my plane ticket months earlier, but for various reasons, I did not receive all of the information that I needed about when they wanted me to arrive. Oh, because part of the reason that it was covered is because we made a work exchange agreement that I would do some extra stuff to help out with setup and cleanup, stuff like that. So I was waiting for confirmation of when I should arrive early to help with those setup type of things. And I didn't get that information until very late. So my plane ticket cost more than I wanted it to, more than it would have had I been able to book it earlier when I planned on. But again, life happens. Organizing these events is a lot of work. So they weren't able to get me that info when I wanted it. However, as the fates would have it, Earlier, also over these past 2 months, I had been invited to teach an Elements of Magic core class in person in a city that I had never been to with some friends. Well, with a friend that I already knew and a new friend who I hadn't met before this process, but I got to go and co-teach with a friend of mine from camp and another person who was teaching for the first time. So they were essentially student teaching the class. And some of my folks from my local community drove out there too, so we all got to go to a new place and meet new people from a new community. Some of the people there I knew them from online. Some of them I had never met, didn't know at all. So that was really, really wonderful. Great experience. I'm so glad I got to do it. I was very glad that I was asked to do it. I'm glad that one of my mentors recommended me as someone that they should ask to do it. And the way that the finances worked out for that, and because I was traveling to be there and the other teachers were local, they graciously gave me a little bit higher portion to help cover my travel needs of driving back and forth. And so the money that I received from teaching that class covered my ticket to camp. So it all fell together. I got to go, and it was a really wonderful time, and I'm very glad that I went. I'm very glad that I asked for help, because I am definitely the kind of person who typically just says, can't afford that, can't go, not gonna happen. And this time I said, can't afford that, how can I make it work? And who can I get to help? So I'm glad that I stated that need and made that desire known, that I really wanted to go, that I felt that it was important for me to go and acknowledge that 10-year anniversary milestone, because it was just beautiful and magical and deeply fulfilling, and the lack of sleep didn't matter at all because there's so much magic, so much energy, so much goodness. And as always, I learned so much, and I learned so many new songs and chants as well. So I had a really great time, and it was really great being back at a place that I had been so long ago and that I had never been since, but that held so much magic for me a decade ago, to come back to that and feel it again. Like it's just like plugging right back in. The other places that I have felt that in my life are places that I have spent exponentially more time. So it kind of makes more sense that I would have more time to embed my energy into the web of the energy of these places. Like, for one, I'm thinking of my grandmother's house and the land that that house was on, where I grew up as a small child. So to feel that same sort of reconnection with a place that I had only spent 1 week 10 years ago just really speaks to how deeply the energy runs. And it was very cool. I don't know when the next time is that I'll be there, but hopefully it's sooner than another 10 years. Usually I am elsewhere, though. This year was an interesting exception for me, and I'll talk more about this in the year in review, which will be coming in the next month's time, because I'm not going to wait until May to do it next year. This year I didn't get a video posted on my channel until like April or May. So my intention, once again, is to have that done in January, if not at the end of December before New Year, but I've been enjoying doing it as the first video of the new year lately, so that's the plan. It'll be in January. I'll talk more about this then, but I attended 5 witch camps this year. 5. 3 of them in person, 2 of them online. The 2 online camps I basically attend every single year. The in-person camps are not something that I do every year. I had a paid tech position at one of them this year, which is the only reason that I went, and then the other, I had the one that was my 10th anniversary camp. So there were specific reasons why that happened this year, and it just happened to all be in the same year. So I have been really blessed this year. I have been really lucky, and also just really busy in that way too, and teaching classes, and I'm already scheduling some classes for 2026. So I don't want to get too much into that for this video, because I'll talk about that other times, but that's a lot of what I've been doing, and then there's some other projects that I've mentioned here and there and that I'll talk more about. I might actually just take one of these Vlogstice videos to talk more at length about some of these things, but there are a lot of other projects going on that I have weekly meetings for, that I have bi-weekly meetings for, monthly meetings, hours and hours sitting at the desk working on things that I can't show you yet because they're not done and ready for the public yet. But yeah, that's kind of my vlog update of what's been going on with my travel. My readings offerings are open again. I reopened that last week or a couple weeks ago. So that is bringing us to the end of this video, which means it's time for a little song. I have not done a sound test, so I don't know how loud this is compared to my voice in the microphone. But it's done okay in the past, and this is a good mic, so we'll figure it out. I wrote this song in about 20 minutes before I started recording, and I was going to record it first, but the cats were being too loud, so I decided to wait till the end in the hopes that they would calm down by then, and it seems that they have. We have been blessed by the cat gods. I've posted, I think, one other video playing ukulele on this channel. I'm not good at it, and I don't practice often at all. I know about 5 chords, and I figured out a way to make this work with 3 of them. These are not the notes of how I wrote the song, so I've changed the melody to fit the chords that I know how to play, because that's the limitation here. But this is going to be the end of the video. The song is going to play us out, so I'm going to say now, before I begin playing, thank you very much for watching and or listening to this video. I will see you next time, and until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye after this song. Vlogstice is here. It's been another year. So many videos, more than usual. I'll see you every other day until the solstice, hey. At least that is the plan, and try is all I can. Vlogstice is here. It's been another year. So many videos, more than usual. If you're here for the ride, make sure you subscribe. I hope that this is clear. Thank you for being here. Tin whistle solo. Thank you for the percussion assist.